Come with us now on a journey through time and space.
To the world of the Mighty Boosh.
Oh, yeah. That brings me back.
Doesn't it?
Oh, bloody hell. Enjoy this bonus episode with Dave Brown, who played Bollo, the talking monkey, on the surrealist show, The Mighty Boosh.
I got a bad feeling about this.
I am obsessed with The Mighty Boosh. I don't know. I suppose you don't talk about it that much on the podcast because it's kind of a weird thing to talk about, I suppose.
I have no doubt that people that listen to our show and our podcast, there'd be a large percentage of people that are Mighty Boosh fans.
Yeah.
But it is definitely a niche, strange show. Belle isn't involved in this chat. She said to us, "What's the Mighty Boosh about?" And we laughed and said we couldn't even explain it.
We can't catch you up to speed in the next 10 to 15.
Yeah.
We'll probably need a few weeks.
Yep.
Also, she could probably watch it all in a couple of weeks, and then it wouldn't be funny until the third time she's watched it.
Yep.
Sort of thing.
Yep. It's a lot of stuff like this.
Crimpity, crimpity, now, crimpity, crimpity, ask me how. Crimpity, crimpity, humble pie. Crimpity, crimpity, boing, ding, bong, bong, ding.
Crimpity, crimpity, F you.
I'm all Greg. Pleased to meet you.
You ever been to a club where people wearing each other?
Easy now, fuzzy little man Peach.
I got a mangina. The Mighty Boosh, incredible show. It's also probably we get into it in this chat a little bit, but it's probably how you and I bonded early doors. We started doing radio together.
Yep.
And maybe
Because
tried to emulate it a bit.
Did you have a Mighty Boosh pin on your bag? Is that why I was like, oh, you like Mighty Boosh?
And you're also potentially forgetting about the giant Boosh skull belt that I used to wear.
That's probably
and
what it
I
was,
also
yeah.
had the Pac-Man belt, which was just the thing that Noel Fielding was wearing at the time. It's pretty cringy. It is cringy. It's like I was wearing leather cuffs and stuff.
Yeah,
I was like, what was I doing?
Yeah.
I was just obsessed with the show. So this is an extended cut with Dave Brown. It's pretty much just us fangirling over him a bit. So if you
don't like Mighty Boosh, you're not going to know what's going on.
But who knows? Maybe you're like, oh wow, if they're giving it such a glowing review, maybe I'll check it out. I think it's on Stan or something like that.
Is it?
So, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I feel like if I rewatched it, I'd want to rewatch my DVDs.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. We'd have to go buy a DVD player, but it would just.
I would be able to use my PS4.
Did PS5 play?
I don't know if 5 does. Never tried. I don't think it would. It feels like obsolete technology.
Yeah. All right. Well,
anyway,
we'll get back to you on that. Enjoy. Dave Brown, welcome. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, mate. Better now that we're speaking to you. Ben and I are massive fans of your work and everything that the Mighty Boosh do. As you can see here by my Bollo first edition figurine here. I don't know if you remember releasing the Boosh figurines. That's one of my many. I bought everything that you guys brought out, basically.
Bless you. I wanted the head to come off that one.
And you can see have your face underneath it. Because that's the thing. I mean, you probably had one of the toughest gigs in the Boosh because, of course, you played Bollo, the talking ape. And, I think this is well-covered ground, but that suit would have been bloody hot, right?
Oh, yeah. It was a form of torture. I was actually it was good in the weight loss world. I nearly brought out a kind of fitness video about weight loss, for Bollo's fitness video, where you just do aerobics as Bollo in the costume. I passed out 3 times in the filming.
Seriously?
Because the mask is basically a negative of my face. I had my head cast, and then they built the mask off of my face. So when the mask is on, there's literally no air between my skin and the mask. So
oh my god,
actually when the head was on and it was all poppered in and zipped up, so there was literally nowhere for the air to go, shall we say? So any of those chase scenes or running around under lights. And the director's going, yeah, we need to do that again. And I'm going, please stop.
You guys were classics for chase scenes with the green screen behind you as well, like the old school sort of 70s thing.
Hey, David, before we get fully stuck into this, I think Liam undersold a little bit how big a fan he was specifically. I loved it. When Liam and I first met and became friends 10 years ago, that was one of the early sparks in our friendship was I loved the show and I didn't realize other people loved it. It's one of those shows where it's such a cult following and you feel like you're the only one that likes it, but then you find out there's this entire universe of fans. This is how big a fan Liam was. He his whole personality, his whole persona became Fielding. Have a look. I'm going to hold up the photo here. Look at the hair. Look at the hair on him.
There's some serious feather work going on.
Yeah.
There. That's impressive.
I was trying to have a Mighty Boosh, and the drain pipes, the boots. It was my whole personality for a few years there, and I think a lot of people were probably in that boat around like peak Boosh time, like 2008, 2009, and I think Ben hit on it, but it's like I think one of the great things about the show is it's that show that like you feel like no one else likes it. But then there are so many people that like it. It feels like your special thing, which is probably kind of like the magic behind the show. Is Australia, because obviously we should get into this, but this is why we're chatting, because there's an awesome exhibition that you're bringing in Fitzroy. It's called Behind the Boosh, and of course you took a lot of amazing photos behind the scenes. So for fans, this is going to be awesome. It kicks off on the 16th of August. But have you found like Australia is a big market for the Mighty Boosh, or is it, it's obviously global, but have you always felt the love from the fans here?
Probably more than anywhere. It's mad how it really tapped into that Aussie sense of humour. Like we came down and did, Noel and Julian did a couple of Melbourne comedy festivals in the early noughties. And then I came down with Auto Boosh, which was my first experience of the Melbourne Festival. And it was huge. And, like you were saying, you don't think anyone likes it, but then you meet people that like it, and then you realize there's this secret kind of cult. Well, and a lot of people were judging their friendships on whether you liked it or not.
Yeah, fully.
Like when I was at uni, it used to be the film With Nell and I, which was like, if someone didn't like that film, then I couldn't be friends with them.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a lot of with the Boosh, and we found all these communities, like online communities that were getting together with absolute love for it. But Australia, more than anywhere, it just seemed to really embrace it. And it's been mind-blowing for me to know with Steve and the Behind the Gallery guys who've brought this down, I was kind of like, is anyone still into it? And I'm like, oh my God, they're into it. Yeah. It's like crazy. Oh, yeah. It's Noel's come down and done a few stand-up tours on his own since, and he said like the whole audience are in fancy dress. And there's about 50 old Gregs and 40 hitches like wandering.
Yeah. Maybe the occasional Tony Harrison. This is an outrage. A bit more of a deep cut.
Do you have a favourite episode, David? When you think about all the episodes that there was, do you have one that comes to mind as your personal favourite?
People ask me that. There's certain characters I absolutely love, and to be fair, in different seasons there are my favourites, but. One thing I do is like recently I did a podcast with these New South Wales guys, and I went and watched Journey to the Centre of the Punk because I thought it might be awesome. A good reference. Yeah. And I'm laughing through it the whole way. And when you're not meant to laugh at your own jokes and stuff, but I do still find Noel and Julian like as funny as ever. The dynamic and when they're chatting to each other and it's just them in that pure arguing about jazz and whatever Vince is into that week is always just gold. I think it's up there with the great double act kind of chats. I mean, Milky Joe for me, I think is amazing episode because it's in a room and it goes back to that kind of live thing that it was born from.
Yeah.
Old Greg is an amazing character. I love. And obviously I'm naan bread in that episode, which is my finest hour.
Not you, naan bread. Oh, one of the great gags. And that stuff, I don't know about Ben, but that's like stuck in my head rent free from and it's probably been a while since I've revisited it all myself.
Reminiscing about it makes me want to go back and rewatch
and
it all again.
Even when you were saying that, between Noel and Julian, like the Nanageddon episode when Howard Moon he wants to impress the goth girls. Yeah, killed a swan yesterday. Did a shit on it. I'm like, it's just so good.
Julian's pretty genius, I think. And when his pants split, such a stupid joke. But when his pants split, when he sits down, guaranteed laughs.
Yeah,
and that's a good episode.
Yeah,
I've seen.
I play myself. One of the very few times I've got my own face out in Nanageddon. I'm at a bus stop.
Yeah,
Nana asks me the directions, and I get a knitting needle in the throat. Yeah,
that's right. You're one of the first deaths of Nanageddon. They because like what I would say is like I've seen Rich Fulcher, I've seen him before. I saw that show, that luxury comedy show when Noel Fielding was here, and it would have been like, I don't know, 2015 or something like that. I met Mike, who plays Naboo, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I never actually got to see a live Mighty Boosh show because obviously when it was at its peak, you did that. I had the Brixton Academy DVD and the O2 DVD, and like it's kind of like, it's annoying that sort of show with the whole ensemble never came. Is it it's history now, or is there a chance that will ever happen again? Do you think? Would you ever like do a live show, or like a body of work in any way, shape, or form?
I think if it's going to happen again, I think Australia is a pretty good place for it to happen. We all love it to death. We've got really good friends down in Melbourne. Our old tour manager, Sean Richards, who apparently is called Mr. Melbourne, he's down there. And we've got like Melvis and people we know that used to come and hang out with us and tour with us. And we often talk now. We're all still in touch. We all still chat. We're all still good friends. Obviously, Noel's doing his own thing. Julian's doing his own thing. We get together and we always reminisce about, wouldn't it be good to do something? But I think the possibility of, we did talk about doing that show down here, but it was such a huge production. It was ridiculous. It got to the point where we had the props and the sets were like three juggernauts and 2 tour buses and stuff. And it was just like, when I think people looked at the figures of bringing it to Australia, it was like, no. So, but it would be great to come down and do that. That show was so special. And I think the music part to the end of it was really special. And I think that if anything did happen, it could be off the back of the music, because there's a secret album that no one's ever heard that we recorded.
Yeah, I've heard about this, and it's just like unreleased, like for no reason.
An archive with cobwebs on it, just looking.
Why do that to us? Release it on the
It
world.
ended up being some kind of big logistical nightmare between rights and who owned what. Because we went over to America and recorded it in Electric Lady Studio, and just nice little small studio, nice little cheap small studio that apparently a guy called Jimi Hendrix used to record it. And so they made, Julian and Noel made the songs longer, like proper, like loads of stuff from the show, but made them into proper songs. We used to perform 3 at the end of 4 at the end of that live tour. Nanageddon, Charlie did a shit on your mum. I'm allowed to say that on radio, sorry.
Yeah, no, totally.
But then we did like Hills and the Hitcher rap and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean it's really good. I mean, I've got a little bootleg copy on my phone. If we see you in Melbourne, then I can you stick a pair of earphones on. I can give you a little
mainline it straight into those ears.
One else is listening to this, right?
I'll keep it on the DL. There was chat of a movie as well at some point. Was that all just like not happening? Or?
No, happening. I think like in true Noel and Julian style, they weren't going to do it unless they thought it was going to be perfect. And they wrote 3 or 4 treatments that all got backing and was all ready to go. But testament to them is they didn't want to be that classic kind of TV show that did a shit film or a rubbish film. Sorry.
Yeah.
They didn't want a TV show that did a rubbish film. So they, I'm not sure they ever committed fully to. But one thing about them is, which I think sets them apart and why people go back to the Boosh all the time, is those scripts, like 20-minute episodes, they were film scripts. I mean, Journey to the Center of a Punk is that's a film script in itself. Any of those could be films. And they're so dense in material. I think that's when you go back and watch them, you see things that you didn't see the first time round.
Oh, so many jokes, so many hidden jokes.
Hidden jokes, hidden references, massive musical references that people who know but don't get it. And like a load of bands were into it because they all got those references. And Julian's like encyclopedic knowledge of jazz and funk, and Noel's encyclopedic knowledge of rock and everything else and punk. And yeah, it was a very popular tour bus DVD box set. It's funny saying DVD box set, and it's so old school. But
I know the one you're talking about though. It's like got the crayon like Boosh skull on the front, and it like sort of opens up, and I got that, and I got the one in the tin as well. I got all of them just in case, And now that's on streaming services, so they're gathering dust somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I designed all that stuff as well because I did the book. We kept it all in the family. It was a proper Mighty Book of Boosh, yeah, compiled down. And then some of those photos that you'll see in this exhibition are in that book. So it's but there are new ones in this exhibition. There's loads of new stuff because I went back when I started. I've obviously done exhibitions before with the Boosh stuff, but it's amazing how much I've got and over such a period of time. And back then, certainly when you're on tour, I wasn't like the most fastidious filer, shall we say? So you're just stuff into hard drives and neg sheets into bags, and then you just like I was finding stuff going, oh my god, I found little phone videos and stuff that I've never watched since the day I filmed them, and they're just amazing kind of time machines back into that zone. And yeah, some great shots that I'm really proud of that I didn't even know I'd taken.
And this is the thing. You're obviously also a very talented photographer. So this exhibition, as we said in Fitzroy, kicks off on the 16th of August. Behind the Boosh, there's going to be a lot of sort of unseen shots there. A lot of stuff that the fans might not have seen in the books or on Google Images before.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and loads of old neg sheets shots. So like when you've got a sequence in a contact sheet, which I think we're going to blow them up pretty big, and yeah, it's loads of good stuff. Amazing. I think we've got Liam. I think we've got in memory of your haircut. I think we've got. I've got the perfect print. I'd like to sign and give to you.
Amazing.
That thumbs up the hair in a perfect way,
mate. That's literally like if you look at it closely, I was literally even got the coloring, like the blonde tips, and it was far like I had it for far too long as well. Like I had it until like 2013, which was the tips were done, man. Especially in like the suburbs of South Australia. Do you know what I mean? Like I wasn't the mayor of Camden.
It's been amazing to steal you for this long, David.
Yeah.
Thank you for being so generous with your time this morning and for chatting all things Boosh.
Yeah, we're so excited for the exhibition. We'll see you there, and yeah, hopefully you've got those tapes with you of the unreleased album.
Shh. Thanks for having me. I look forward to meeting you down there.